Hi guys, this is the live we have been waiting months for. We are doing a live with Anastasiia, who specializes in dog dancing. We are absolutely intrigued, inspired, just absolutely love all things dog dancing. So today Anastasiia is going to talk about how she gets it done. All right, there we go. Anastasiia joins us from France, FYI. Woohoo! Kalki, the Maligator. We're just excited as you. Connecting. Hey!
Hey, hello.
How's it going?
Good, thanks. And
So
you?
what time is it in France?
It's 6 p.m. right now.
Very nice.
The evening.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks to you for inviting. It's really a pleasure for me, and especially talking about my favorite topic, dog dance.
Well, I find it all to be so impressive. So thanks for sharing all your videos. We love
Pleasure.
So how did you get started in dog dancing?
Actually, I never planned to be a dog trainer or to be a dog dancer. It started with my dog YUKI. He's 9 years old now, so I just wanted to have a dog to have some nice time together, to have fun. And at that period of time, I'm originally from Russia. We didn't have so many dogs this breed, so every breeder told me that they're quite special, they have lots of energy, and you have to do either some sport, either some private lessons with trainers. So I said, okay, I really wanted this dog, and I was ready for anything, and I promised them that I'll start to do agility, obedience. I knew nothing about it, but I really wanted to have a cool dog to have fun with, and finally I found a breeder who gave me a pup. And I was just visiting some different workshops and everything I could learn. I was trying to do with him, and also we were doing some tricks at the same time. And when he was about 1 year old, he already knew quite many things, and I don't remember who, but I think it was just a friend of mine who said like, oh, he knows this and that, so why don't you try dog dance? Because he had like a big abilities and I knew already like various tricks, and I thought like, sounds interesting, why not? And I think that's how it started. I didn't know how to create it, how to create a choreography, and our first performance was terrible. And after that I decided, okay, if I want to do it, I need to find a person who can explain me how it works. And in half a year I had some lessons, and in half a year we created our first dance, and on a big competition he got a second place, so I was really proud of him. And every time we were participating in something, he showed really cool results, and it brought a lot of pleasure for me to do it, and the dog had so much fun, so we just like got into it, and it became our favorite hobby.
That is so cool. And you can definitely see how happy the dog is and you when you're
Yes.
dancing. So how does the competition work, and how does the choreography work? Are you doing the choreography during the competition?
Yes, now I create them by myself, but I still have some friends and trainers who can help me and give some suggestions and ideas. But 2 years ago, I also started to work as a trainer, so I create choreographies for other people and give them ideas on how to create a dance. It's a little bit different from trick shows, because many people, they, just like do tricks with the music on background, and they call this dog dance, but it's not exactly how it works, because for dog dance you really need to create a dance, so everything you do should be connected with the music. There are two different divisions. It's heel work to music, which is a bit closer to obedience, when you have some certain positions with your dog, 10 positions. So for example, normal heel work, when the dog is on your left, then the dog looks on the opposite side, same on the other leg, lateral positions, and also when the dog is between your legs. And you can move in different directions and create a kind of, it can be either as storytelling, So you make an act with a story inside, or you can do it as a dance, so you connect all the moves with the music and create something beautiful with it. And the other division is freestyle. And here you can do whatever you want. You can do different tricks, show some distance work, because in heel work, the dog needs to be really close to you. And it's allowed to do only 25% of tricks, and the rest should be only heel work positions. And in freestyle, you have all the freedom. So that's basically what I do. It's freestyle, and there you can also do either storytelling, either dancing. So all the moves needs to be really be connected with music, and by this you create some choreography together with your dog.
Very cool. So what has been your favorite choreographed dance or competition dance that you've done?
Oof. This is hard to say actually, because I love all of them. Even if the first ones, they were not perfect, I still like them because that's how we started, and we still had lots of fun. And I also like to watch choreographies of other people and get some inspiration. So there are many things, because each dance is different. There are none which are really similar, and I think each of them is, yeah, some great points.
Did you hear that?
No, I had a kind of delay. Yes, now I hear you.
Oh, so Birdie the cattle dog is asking, what kind of dog do you have? Or dogs, plural.
I have two border collies. One is 9 years old, and the little one, the black and white one, she's 2 years old.
So, and their names?
YUKI and SALSA.
Very cool. And how old was YUKI when you started?
9 years ago, so whenever YUKI, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then
time is flying.
And then when you got SALSA, when did you start actually training for competition or starting the tricks?
I started from the very beginning, so I've got her when she was 2 months and a half. And actually I had a plan, because I already had many people who asked me how to start doing tricks, how to start to create your first choreography. So from the first days when she was at our home, I started to film what we do. So each training we did with her with different tricks, different kind of obedience lessons. And I made a course for beginners. So it started, like, I would say, like from the first days she came to us.
Very cool. So question, when you're training your dogs, how do you know when the dog like actually has the trick and when you can move on to the next?
I have a kind of system, let's say, when the dog can do what you ask 3 times in a row without mistakes, it means I can go farther. So usually I don't like to stay at the same level. So if I see, for example, we start with luring, and we show the dog how to move, how to turn. And when the dog knows the command, knows how to turn, for example, I start to remove my hand signals. So every time I'm making the task a little bit more and more difficult. So every training will be a little bit more difficult, and in the end, when finally the dog got the success, I'm starting to train in different environments. So I always start at home with no distractions, and when it's ready, we are going outside, we are going to work with other dogs around and other people around. So progressively I make it more and more harder every time, but always I'm trying to plan my trainings in the way that we have let's say about 70% of success and 30% of mistakes. So it means if the dog makes too many mistakes, it was a bad training. So it's my fault. I didn't plan it well. And every time I'm trying to plan it in the way which will be cool for the dog, and she will have lots of success.
Very cool. And when you're training with luring, obviously I'm watching a lot of your videos and it's always with play at the end or just praise. How do you fade out the treats and then go to play as the reward?
It depends on the trick, because for some of them, for example, if we take a simple slalom, when dog is passing between our legs, I start, yes, with luring, so I really like show the dog how to move from leg to leg, and then I just gradually remove my hand signals, so I'm starting to lift up my hands a little bit higher, for example, and make it not so obvious, and after some time, it's really important that the dog really learned the verbal cue, which you give. You can give the cue and you wait if the dog will do it by herself or not. So if not, you can help her a little bit, but still, every time I'm trying to remove my hand signals more and more. So she hears the word and she understands that, oh, okay, she wants me this. So she makes one pass and I give a treat.
Mm-hmm. Are there moments where you graduate to the next trick when you're teaching these longer choreographed dances, where then the dog just forgets different things?
It can happen. Just recently I posted, there was one trick with YUKI when he needs to sit down and look back at me like this and like that. We did it for our previous dance. And I think we didn't do it for half a year or maybe more. And so we didn't do it at all, because for my last dance, it was not in the choreography. So I totally forgot about it. And he also forgot about it. So sometimes when it happens, you just need to start from the beginning, not to be angry with the dog, because it's okay to forget. We also don't have a perfect memory, and just quickly show him all the first steps, and usually the dog will be, okay, so I remember.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a dancer too. I started dancing when I was 3 years old. And so, yeah, that's why I'm especially loving all the dancing with dogs. What would you say is your favorite move? Do you call them tricks with your dances?
Yes,
Yeah.
basically tricks,
Okay.
yes.
What's your favorite trick?
There are quite many of them, because, for example, with YUKI, I like the way he makes some tricks on the when he stands up on two legs, and he makes really nice moves when we're back to back and turn together. But also I like some tricks when he leans on me and he lifts up two side legs. And just basically there are some simple ones, but which he does so funny because he's a very like fast dog, and even some turns, for example, also with my little dog Salsa, she makes it so fast that it looks like super crazy. So I just love it, even if it's a simple one. I just love the way it looks.
So Kiwi, the Aussie's mom, do you use mainly verbals during a finish routine or rely on body language?
Here it depends, because there are some tricks which better to do only with verbal cues, but it's not possible to make a dance without movements. So of course you need to do something with your hand, you need the hands, you need to do something with your body, and normally you connect everything together, so you still like make some movements, but it shouldn't be like obvious luring. So sometimes you can even help the dog a little bit, but it should look like a dance move, not like you're helping your dog to do something.
Right.
Yes.
And how long does it take you or take the dogs to learn to do the tricks?
Depends on the tricks, because some simple ones you can learn like in few days. I think with Salsa, in 1 week, she already knew how to give a paw, how to roll. Of course, I was doing luring, I was helping her, I was showing her what to do. And then just to go to verbal cues, it depends on the dog. Because for some of them, some moves they do really easily and fast. And some dogs, somehow it takes longer time, even for some simple ones. Also, it was funny with SALSA, the simple turn when dog turns around. I think it took me about 4 months to teach her just to do it on verbal cue. Even if she knew it perfectly and she knew the command, somehow I asked her and she looks at me and she just like, she got stuck every time. So I needed to help again and again.
I want everyone to hear that. It took 4 months to learn that. I think sometimes we get overexcited when we teach a trick and we expect that our dogs to learn it.
Yeah. And it really depends on dogs because some tricks can be super easy for one dog and very hard for another one, even if it's one breed. So you need to be really patient and understand that it's a process and you need to enjoy this process. So you need to help your dog and be patient with her. So never be in a hurry, because if you put lots of pressure, it will just cause some frustration for you and for the dog. So it will never work.
I think that's the biggest part of training that
Yes.
handlers have to be cognizant of. Okay, so Shadow, the GSD, how long does a dance training session usually last?
I would say it also depends on the dog because, for example, even comparing YUKI and SALSA, my two dogs, with YUKI from the beginning, I could work more because he had more concentration on me. He was more interested in doing something together. So we had this kind of contact. And with SALSA, we needed to learn concentration and motivation because she could do some small sessions. But really fast, she was bored with this, and she was really attracted by some smells around, especially if we were working outside. She could just like go and sniff grass around and totally forget about me. So with her, I did really, really small sessions. I even bought a smartwatch to measure time. I started from 30 seconds. So, for example, if I'm going out at home, she could work perfectly. But when I started to do all the trainings outside, 30 seconds was maximum she could give me. So we do just few things. I reward her, and then she can go and have fun. Then, of course, we could repeat it in a few minutes, but this was the maximum. And with YUKI, for example, I could work like 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was still okay for him. But yeah, it depends on the dog, and you just need to progressively increase the time. I think the most important is to find the special timing when the dog is still like on the top of enjoyment. So when they really want to work, when they're still motivated, and that's the moment when you need to stop. So you don't wait for the moment when the dog is tired or the dog is distracted. I'm trying always to stop when the dog enjoys the most. So next time she will wait for our next session.
It's a great idea to have to watch and to time it.
Yeah, sometimes you really need to count because it's hard to understand. We start to do something and time is just, like passing, and I don't know, was it 1 minute or already 5? It seems like the dog is working and everything is okay, but it's really important to measure it, and especially for dogs which are easily distracted and not really motivated. I'm always trying to do really short and very interesting.
Okay, Birdie the cattle dog. Have you ever met a dog that couldn't learn to dance?
It always depends on people, because if you manage to find a good way to work with your dog, to have fun together, and to do all the things right, let's say, then it's never the problem. Because most of the time when dog refuse to work, it's because of us. It's because we're not very interesting for the dog, or she has some other things to do. But otherwise, no, I don't think I've ever seen any dog who couldn't do it. Even some handicapped dogs, we actually have a special category in dog dance for handicapped dogs. They also can participate and perform, and they can do amazing things.
Wow, that is so cool. I want everyone to listen to that too. It comes down to the owner. There's a handicap dance section of dog dance competition. That's really amazing.
Yes.
Okay, Kiwi, the Aussie's mom. Do you use props when training heel work tricks?
Yes, it's not obligatory to use them, but if you want, you can. Just there are different rules in different countries. We have different rules for dog dance, and you need to check because sometimes it's limited. For example, you have only 1 minute to bring your props, or you can enter the ring only one time. So you need to understand, like, if it's like big enough and you cannot carry it alone, it means you will not be able to use it for competition. So you need to find the props which are, yeah, not too big or good enough for your dance. And also there is one point, if you
Okay,
bring
so
something in the ring. Do you hear me?
it's cutting out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to say that one more thing about props. If you bring something in the ring, you really need to use it. It's not like it's staying there on the background and maybe once or twice you did one trick or two with it. Then you can get a penalty for this. And if you use something, you need to use it. That's the main point.
So you'll get a penalty. So say you bring like a hula hoop, but you don't actually use it, you'll get penalized for that?
Yes, exactly.
And why is that? Just
I think because everyone wants to see like the story and not like doing tricks just to do them, just to show that your dog can do them. That's why if it's a part of the story, it should be really a part of it. So you need to use it at least a few times to make sense. Otherwise, there are people who come to do dog dance and, just like doing tricks here and there. And it's not counted as dog dance.
mm-hmm.
You really need to create either a story, either a dance together with your dog. It's not about just making tricks.
Mm-hmm. It really is an art.
Yeah, kind of. And sometimes you can be angry with judges because you think you did the right job and they see it differently. You think your concept is clear and people don't understand it. So sometimes it takes some time to make it perfect and make understandable for everyone so they can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had an experience where you thought a routine was really, really great and it meant something to you, but it didn't quite hit with the judges?
Actually, my previous one, we started with a kind of fun competition because it's a kind of option when you come in the ring with your dress, music, and so on. But it's not an official one, so you just get an opinion from judges, kind of feedback. And judges told me that they didn't understand my concept. So for me, the idea was clear. It was a kind of little story in the beginning when YUKI, he was an artist and I was a spectator. So I was sitting on the chair. He was entering the scene. I made some curtains. So he was running towards me and started to dance alone in the middle of the scene. And they didn't get it. So for me, it was obvious. And seems like sometimes you have an idea in your head, but doesn't mean that everyone will understand it. So they advised me to put some kind of something in the beginning which can explain the story. So I just found on the internet a kind of voice like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show." And then it was clear that it's a show, he's an artist. So you need to put some little details inside to make it obvious.
Mm-hmm. So you can speak during the performance acts?
It was part of the music, so I just added, before the music.
Okay. And what's the scene like during a competition? Are the lights on? Like with humans, it would be you're on stage and it's dark, you can't see anyone or the judges. How does it work in dog dance?
No, usually you have light, some good light, and it's very different because there are some competitions which are outside. So it's just like they put some obstacles around to create like a kind of scene. Some of them are indoors, and also the size of the ring is can be really different. So it depends on the place where organizers found it. It can be also a big problem because sometimes, for example, we're participating on many international big competitions. And usually when I'm starting to work on my routine, I'm making it big, let's say, for a big space. Because also in scores, you have one point, it's about usage of the ring. So you need to use the whole space, not to stay only in the middle. And so you're making it for example, 20 meters to 25. You used to like do some distance work, and then you come to competition and the ring is like 12 to 12, so really like tiny. And then you're like, how can I do everything I planned in such a place? So you need to look at their announcement. Usually when you subscribe to competition, you can see the size and really plan how will you manage to do it in the space. So every time it can be really different.
And how popular is dog dancing where you live?
It's quite a modern sport because it started, I think, about 20 years ago, and now I think it becomes more and more popular, but it still develops, I think, because now we can see that more countries start to be interested in this and organize some training seminars, some competitions there, but it's still, I think it's not as popular as agility and things like that. But I think soon we'll see more people doing that because it's a great sport, and for me it's one of the most beautiful. It's a lot really about your imagination, about having fun with your dog, and yeah, I really love it.
Very cool. How long, where do these competitions take place? Are you traveling from country to country?
Yes, you can of course do it only in your country, but for example, me, I live in France, but on the border with Switzerland. It's just like 15 kilometers from us. And quite often I go either in Switzerland, either in France, and also sometimes in Italy, sometimes in Germany, if it's not too far away. So usually if it's not more than 4 hours drive, I can easily subscribe and go there because it's not only about competitions, it's about meeting people, making new friends, and seeing some beautiful area around. So I really love it. And for me, traveling is not a big problem.
Very cool. Let's see. I'm just checking these questions.
YUKI. He came to say hi.
Aw, hi, YUKI. Little sweetheart. So I'm looking at some of the questions, and some of them have to do with like basic dog training, and I don't really want like shepherd biting. I don't really want to go into all of that. But Kalki the Maligator was asking about the training aspect of it. When you remove the treats during your training session, can you kind of go over that a little bit, the technical aspects?
Yes. So normally, as I said, when I start with one trick, I go really like step by step to the moment when the dog can do it in different environment with distractions without my help. And that's the moment when I know that the dog is ready to perform this trick. And then I can get rid of treats. So I can ask to do it like once, twice, 3 times, and then reward. I can also start to combine it with other tricks. So ask, for example, to do slalom and then a twist. And progressively, so little by little, I can combine more and more tricks together. And for the dog, he knows that the reward will come. So maybe not now, but later. And if the dog really enjoys to do tricks, if you have this kind of feeling of fun doing it together, usually they can do many things in a row because they just enjoy it, and they know like the best will come in the end. So they're more motivated to do more and more.
Mm-hmm. It's like waiting for that round of applause, that praise. Working for that.
Normally,
And
I'm not trying to do lots of things every time. So usually I still put there are some moments when I give treats here and there because some tricks are easier, some are more difficult. So I will always want to support the dog and help him, especially on the elements which are more difficult. And once in a while, for example, we have a training in our club once a week. So once a week, I can try to make a full choreography with no treats. But in the end, I give a kind of jackpot, so something really valuable and like piece of meat or pate. Pate, sorry, is kind of dog treats which dogs really like. It's a French word, or a toy because both my dogs they're really like toys addicted.
mm-hmm, of course. And how long is a routine?
Depends on the category because you start as a beginner, and I think in the beginners class it's limited to about 2 minutes. So it's like from 1 minute to two, and it's not about making it really long. The most important is to make it interesting for judges and spectators to see, and to create some good teamwork with your dog. So all the moves should be connected together. They should have a nice flow and also be interesting in the technical part, not like doing only heel work and some basic moves, but put some spices inside. And then when you move to next categories, I think next one is like from 2 minutes to three, and the last one from 3 to 4, something like this. But it always depends on the rules because each country can have different, and you need to check.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, it's for me, I love working with Rika. So Rika's 10.5 months, and I, very similar to you when you first got Yuki, knew that I would have to get involved with the sport, obviously keep Rika's mind very active, and as a working dog. And I'm very torn in what to do. Dog sports, IGP or PSA is very, very popular, but dog dancing doesn't seem to be very popular in the States,
Mm-hmm.
I feel. So for me, if I wanted to get into dog dancing, how should I start? Like just at home?
Um, Honestly, I don't know because if in your country you don't have any competitions at all, no people interested, maybe you can start it by yourself. Because, for example, when was it? About 1.5 years ago, and I've got a friend from Israel. We started just by creating a choreography together because she's a dancer, and she wanted to bring the sport in her country because there were already people doing this, but there were no official competitions. And we started to work together. Then she got closer with judges. She also came to Europe, made many workshops with famous trainers, and recently she wanted to make an official competition this year. Unfortunately, it was cancelled because of COVID, but they did an online one, and it worked really, really great. She managed to involve many people inside. She got some students who are learning from her now, and now like more and more people see it. They say, "Wow, we want to do the same." So she just like brought it in the country, even if there was nothing like this officially.
Very cool. So there's hope for me.
Yeah, sure. I think the most important is to have good motivation and
Mhm. Did you see that Netflix episode, We Are the Champions?
yes, we've actually been there. It was 2 years ago in Italy on the OEC. We also participated in this competition.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so important I want
Yeah,
more
it's
people
great.
to.
I really enjoyed to watch it and also seeing my Russian friends because I know almost all of them.
Mhm. Sounds like a very small community.
Yes, yeah, I think there are not so many people doing this. So basically, if you're start to do the sport, you get known people, and quite often you become really good friends with them, and then it's quite amazing. It's like kind of international relationship,
Very
kind of
cool.
international community of people who like to dance and do fun with their dogs.
Love it. Okay, so Kiwi, the Aussie's mom, can we access your online course in the English language?
Yes, sure. It's actually made in English because my
Okay.
Instagram account I started in English, and most of lessons they immediately translated to English, and then I do it in other languages, in Russian and French.
Anastasia, can you kind of talk about your online course?
Sure. So the first one I have, it's an online course for beginners. And as I said, I started to film our trainings with SALSA when she was like 2.5 months. So you can see like how I built all the trainings, and also the questions you ask me, how to get rid of luring and get rid of treats after some time. That's all there. Also how to connect the tricks and make the first little sessions with music, and then to create the whole dance. We did our first competition when she was 15 months. So during all this time, I was filming our trainings, and also some kind of fun classes when I was going with her in the ring, doing some kind of improvisations with music, preparing her for future performances, so she feels comfortable in this environment, that she's not scared about noise and people around, because I think it's also very important part. You can learn many tricks with your dog, but if the dog is like too distracted to do it in front of other people, it will never work. So it's a kind of separate job you need to do. Work on motivation, concentration, and in general working with distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have some videos and text which describes step by step how to learn each trick. And then in total there are 20 tricks which can help you. It's like the basis of dog dance, which can help you to create your own dance in future.
Very cool. I'll have to check it out. Um, my other question is, what is the most rewarding part of dog dancing with your pups?
For me, I think it's the feeling, because you're preparing for such a long time. You know, you start to do something with your dog, and sometimes it doesn't work. You try this way or that way, and finally you go and it works. You show people something beautiful, something cool. It doesn't matter which place you take, or if it's just a performance, not a competition, but you just do it for people or for your family. It's just cool when you're like preparing for such a long time, and finally one day like it works. You feel this connection with your dog, that you can do something cool together. And for me, I think this feeling is the best reward which you can get.
Awesome. So inspiring. What is your favorite, what has been your favorite routine with either YUKI or SALSA?
As I said, I think I like all of them. Right now I'm doing one choreography with salsa, with some Latin music, which I really like because I'm a big fan of Latin music in general. And I think it's also coming from the music that is kind of sometimes fast, sometimes slow, and there is some romantic moments inside. And I really love each moment of this. And also with YUKI, right now we are working on a very heart-touching dance. It's waltz from Anastasia cartoon. I think you know it is from Disney.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
we also created a kind of story that YUKI is, so he's a kind of doll staying on the music box. I start the box, it starts to play, and he turns, and it's like he becomes alive and comes to dance with me.
Cool. Love it. Okay, the Dutchy Wildling. How does a day of training choreography look like for you?
You mean the day when we're going to perform, or just a
Um,
usual training day?
I think she means just a normal training day.
Usually I'm trying to do just a little bit every day. So I don't have a special like schedule. I have to do this or that, like this amount of time. I just know that, for example, we're working on some certain tricks, and so every time I'm trying to make them to put some kind of little bit more and more difficulty for the dog. So in the end, he can perform it well by himself. And I just have a little like kind of diary when I mark, so what we need to work on the next time. And basically, I'm just trying to do a little bit every day, bit in the morning, a bit in the evening. Some days I'm just too busy or I'm tired and I don't want to do it, so I prefer not to. It's a rest day for dogs and for me. And it just depends on the mood, because for me it's more important to have a training when you feel that you want to do it, not when like you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all about having pleasure and fun with your dog.
Mm-hmm. Birdie, the cattle dog, do you do any dances with both of the dogs together?
It's possible, but right now I don't, because Salsa, she's still young. She's 2 years old, and she's still in the process of learning many things. For her, it was already hard to work alone, so I didn't want to make the task too hard for her to do it with YUKI. And, they can do some tricks together at the same time, and it actually looks really cool and impressive. But I've never worked on kind of choreography, the whole dance with both of them. Maybe one day, but we'll need to wait when she grows up and we'll be more confident.
Mm-hmm. That'll be awesome to see. What are places you practice when you first train outside in public?
Um, to tell the truth, we're living in apartments, so we don't have like a special training place or garden or whatever. I'm just going out and doing. We have like a little field between houses, so I do it in front of my neighbors. It actually really helps me to feel more comfortable, confident in doing it in front of sorry, other people. And then once a week we have our dog dance club. We're not many there, but it's still really cool to do it with people who have the same passion as you. We are trying to help each other to sometimes, if, for example, we need some distractions, this and they do it for us. And basically that's it. Plus what I said before, we have some fun competitions when you can come. You can use treats, you can use toys, whatever motivation your dog needs, and you can just practice it as a real competition, but with rewards. So you help your dog to adapt to the atmosphere of competitions and performances in front of other people.
Mm-hmm. I've been dog dancing with Rika in the living room. I I thought about going outside in public, but I'm not sure what people would think.
It's actually hard, because I can tell you I'm not a dancer. I've never did like some real lessons and things like that. Thanks to YUKI, we started to do it, because in the beginning it didn't look like something graceful and cool. We were just doing tricks, and most of the time you can hear some kind of wow from people, because it's not what most of the dogs do. And normally people react really like positively, and they can come to you, they can ask how you do, they want to try it. And I understood that there is nothing to afraid, and mostly people who watch you, they're happy to see it, and it's impressive for them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, it is. So, the real Thor from Austin was asking how you get the dog to do those parkour tricks, like jumping off of things or jumping against the human.
Ah, there are two ways for these tricks to teach the dog. So first one, when you have a kind of platform. So for example, I don't know, something like big and solid, what dog can run on. So you use a low angle and you just teach the dog to go on this platform, and then you throw a treat so the dog goes up. You give one treat when the dog is on the top, and then you throw the second one, so it's kind of a movement going up and down quickly. And then you just increase the angle more and more, and then finally when it's vertical like this, the dog will just jump and jump up and jump down. But for me, I prefer when you start already with a human body. So you teach your dog to come to your laps, and when the dog jumps, you give a treat here, and the second one you throw on the ground. So the dog just learns to jump, to go down, and then also step by step, you kind of starting to stand up. You can lean on the wall, and you increase the angle, and the dog just learns like to jump on you and go down. I actually have a tutorial, free tutorial on my account. If someone is interested, in bio I have a link for free tutorials, and you can see how I did it with YUKI step by step.
Awesome. I think that's going to be the next trick that I do with Rika. We just finished the orbit, but now I want to do the parkour. And I think we're going to use go to the skate park and do it with a ramp. That would work.
Yes. Yeah, it also depends on dogs, because some of them are light, some dogs are heavy, and sometimes it's easier to use a kind of platform, or you can also try with trees, because when the dog already knows the move, then it will be easier to do it from you. Because in the beginning, they can scratch you, they can push you too much, so you need to be careful.
Also, I haven't taught Rika how to jump over things. She kind of just does it on her own. Like she's always just leaping from thing to thing. What's the best way to start teaching your dog how to jump over something?
I started with agility jump, just
like with like a bar, basically lifting
yes,
it, like
yes,
if you were
yeah, jumping above the bar.
Okay.
So it's a kind of jump when the dog jumps forward. But if you want the dog to jump on the place, you need to teach him to do it on the side. So, for example, I also use this kind of agility jump to put it on the side of the dog, and the dog needs to jump this way, not like with the head forward, but the dog is facing you, and the jump will be like this. Yes.
Okay. And what do you call that? What's the command for that?
For this one, I use a French word saute, which basically means jump.
Okay. In ballet, it's like saute. Saute.
And the agility one, it's a Russian bar, because it's a barrier. We call the whole obstacle a barrier. So it's a short one from barrier, it's a bar.
Bar, yeah. Okay, Kiwi, the Aussie's mom, do you prefer heel work to music or the freestyle better?
Personally, freestyle, because it gives you more freedom, and it's kind of, you can do more things, use more imagination, and this is definitely more interesting. But also heel work to music can be really cool, and even made as a dance. But I think you need to be more creative if you want to do it, and really show not just like heel work when the dog can be in this position and that, but make it really interesting. So you need to have good imagination.
What do you think is the most challenging part of creating pieces for competition?
I think the most important is to choose the right music. Because, for example, you always need to adjust music to the dog. For example, if the dog is slow, he will not be able to follow some really fast rhythm. And the opposite, if the dog is really fast, it will be really hard for him to do some slow and graceful moves. So you need to find the right rhythm for your dog. And then, let's say, the music should have some variety. It shouldn't be always like slow, 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 or really like fast, 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 because in the first variant, judges will just fall asleep. In the second one, it will look more like a trick show. It will be trick after trick after trick, really like fast. And then everyone will be, okay, finally she finished.
Mhm.
So you need to make it interesting, and there should be always some up and downs. So you did some like really cool trick, everyone is like, wow. Then you do something more simple, so everyone can have a kind of break. And then from this down point, you will make again something wow.
Mhm.
I think by this, if you manage to do it, this will create a really cool dance.
Mhm. The ultimate performance.
Mhm.
Love it. Um, so I am just like really blown away by the fact that it like really is a choreographed piece, and you know the art aspect of it. You know, it's not just, I think a lot of the times, you know, having a Malinois, and I think a lot of Malinois owners, you know, we just think about like, oh, I want to get my dog to do this, I want to get the dog to do that. But to think of it like, okay, we want to tell a story and make it really meaningful, I think is really, really special. So um, awesome work to you um, for doing what you do. It's special. So now my the wheels are turning for me, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to create a dance
Yeah,
with Rika. I don't know what the music
I
would
think
be.
it should, especially if you did some dancing before. It's like,
Mhm.
I would say yes immediately.
Mhm. Uh, I just don't know what kind of genre it would be.
Um, you need to try. What I usually do, I take few songs which I like, and I do a kind of little improvisation with my dog. So I feel myself, and I see, like, for example, sometimes you like a song, but doesn't mean that it will be good for your dog, because you can see the way he moves, and as I said, like, it can be too fast, too slow. So you need to find the perfect match. And usually, what I do, I just take like few songs, film myself, and I see how it looks. It's not like you need to create already some ideas. You do just a kind of improvisation with tricks, you know. And when the music is chosen, then you can really start to create some kind of plan, and already like starting to create a dance with this music.
Hmm. And when you're creating the routine, is it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, like kind of dancing with the rhythm or training with the rhythm? Or does it kind of
Um,
just flow naturally?
Honestly, because maybe because I'm not a dancer, I'm not used to do this counting. So most often I just listen to the music, and I can hear there are some changes, and I'm just trying to not adapt, adjust to these changes. For example, when the singer like finishes the phrase, normally I finish this move and start a new one. Or when I hear there is a kind of change of rhythm in the song, I'll also change a move. So I'm always trying to think which move would be perfect for this exact moment in the song. And then I create a plan. So just write with the seconds. So for example, from 0 to 0.5, we're doing this. From 0.5 to 0.6, it's like one movement like that. And then we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when the plan is ready, I'm trying I do it in my head, so then I'm trying it with the dog. I see how it looks. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes it doesn't, so you need to make some adjustments. And by finding these kind of perfect combinations, you make like a good plan for the whole song.
Mm-hmm. I think it works so well with your dogs because you have one consistent partner. You know, sometimes if you're doing the waltz or something, you know, in a class dancing with other people, you kind of have to get used to the way they work. But yeah, having one dog, two dogs to work with, it makes the flow nice. And
Yeah, I think 2 dogs is my limit, because if I had 3, I think it would be too much for me, because I'm trying to give them as much attention as I can. And maybe, yeah, when Yuki is old and he cannot compete anymore, I'll think about third dog. But right now, two is really my limit, and I think it's great to have not one, but two of them, so you can have like double fun.
Love it. So, we're getting into an hour here, and I just really love talking to you and learning about dog dancing. For people that want to get involved with it, what do you think is the best way to start?
I would watch some already made dances from different competitors. Not if you don't have it in US, you can watch some European competitions just to have an idea how it looks and what you can do with your dog. And I think the more you see some people doing this, some examples, you can get more and more inspiration. So it can also give you some ideas what you can try and what you can do with your dog, and then just use your imagination.
Awesome. Okay, Karu Glasky, what do you do if the dog doesn't do some trick and then your music has gone ahead? It's a good question.
That's actually a very good question. So the best is normally you know these moments because in training you can already see then that here your dog do more mistakes and you can create a kind of plan B. So for example, if the dog did a mistake or was distracted, you need to have like one comment which you reinforce a lot during trainings. You give a lot of treats or you play with toys. So always there is a kind of reward. And then when the dog hears it, it will be like, okay, I'll do it. So the dog is ready to do it. Even if it's a simple trick, it doesn't matter because it's better that the dog will do something that even like something simple, then the dog is just like frozen or going away. And so I think it's really important to have this kind of plan B in case if something goes wrong.
It's kind of like if a dog, like just in basic training, it gets distracted by something or like reactive to another dog and you want to quickly get the attention, sit down. Okay, I'll
Actually, it's the best part about dog dance because no one really knows what your dance is. And even if you do it like 2 times in a row, you can do it completely different because it's up to you to decide which moves you do. And if it happened and you do something else, it's still a dance. So you'll not be punished for that as long as the dog is with you and doing something together with you. You can be sure that it's good.
Yeah, no one will know, just you and YUKI. Gotti, Canine, Uncle Tony, I just want to say thank you for that comment. It's very, very sweet. Okay, last question. Let's make it a good one. What are your ultimate plans for SALSA and for YUKI?
Oh, you mean like a big, big goal?
Yeah, big goal.
With YUKI, actually, I don't know because we already participate in international competitions, and for this year, he's selected to be a part of a team for the World Cup. So, yes, last year we were also selected, but it didn't happen because of COVID. So we don't know if this year it will happen or not, but we keep fingers crossed. And he's getting old. He's already 9, going to be 10 this summer. So for me, I think my main goal with him is to dance as long as we can and just enjoy competitions because he already been everywhere he could. We did everything we could, and right now it's just like to have pleasure of doing something together, to have fun, and I just want him to be healthy and enjoy it as long as he can because all the main goals we already reached with him. And for salsa, she's still young. She's learning to do tricks, to find this good connection with me. It's getting better and better every time. So I hope we can also go to the highest level in the sport and can enjoy it together. I see that she's starting to like it more and more, and then having also more fun doing it with her. So I just want to continue this way, and then we'll see how it goes because for me, the main point is that my dogs stay healthy. They have lots of fun by doing tricks, and we just enjoy it.
I love it. Very nice. Well, I wish you and Yuki and Salsa the best of luck, and I can't wait to see how you guys progress.
Thank you so much.
So it was so nice chatting. I'll keep you posted on how we do with our dog dancing journey.
Yes, it'd be interesting to follow your results, and yeah, keep me updated.
I definitely will. Thank you again, Anastasia. Have a good night, and I'll post this.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Bye.